Hello there, Star Wars fans. Welcome back to the Hyperspace Database. I'm Jonesy the Mandalorian here with today's topic, the U-wing. The UT-60D U-wing was a starfighter support craft developed by the Incom Corporation during the reign of the Empire, and saw extensive use by the Rebel Alliance as a troop transport and light gunship. The U-wing support transport was one of the last ships to be produced by the Incom Corporation before they were taken over by the Galactic Empire. As a result of this action, not many of the U-wings were actually produced, though a shipment of the support craft were conveniently lost in transit and found their way to the Rebel Alliance, courtesy of Senator Bail Organa. The U-wing was 79 feet long, 28 feet wide, and 12 feet tall. It was capable of reaching atmospheric speeds of 590 miles per hour, and was equipped with a hyperdrive and deflector shields. It could carry up to 8 passengers and 2 door gunners, as well as crewing 1 pilot and 1 co-pilot. It was armed with 2 forward laser cannons and 2 door-mounted M45 repeating ion blaster cannon turret mounts, which were interchangeable with other small arms weaponry. One of the most notable features of the ship and an Incom standard were the extendable S-foils, which were used for better high-atmosphere flight, and would sweep back around when in attack position to better spread out the deflector shield coverage. Since it functioned as a ground transport and troop carrier, the ship was designed with lower viewports underneath the pilot's feet, so that they could get a better view of the landing zones and other obstacles. One interesting variant of the U-wing, called the BT-45D U-wing, did not possess S-foils, and had 2 engines instead of 4, though its main difference was that it was purely a civilian ship, and did not have any weaponry, hyperdrive capabilities, or deflector shields, so it was basically just a light transport for ferrying passengers. The main transport function of the U-wing made many pilots refer to it as a heavy repulsor lift vehicle instead of a starfighter. And with low agility and slow acceleration, this association was not that far off, as it was used in a similar capacity to other land troop transports, like many land speeders and small tanks. The U-wing makes many appearances throughout Star Wars media, from movies and TV shows to video games and comic books as well. The ship appears in the Rebels TV show in use by Saw Gerrera and his associate Two Tubes, as they end up rescuing members of the Spectre Rebel cell when their mission goes sideways on the planet Jalinda. Saw then takes the Spectres and goes on a mission to infiltrate a cargo carrier that he believes holds a great Imperial weapon. What they end up finding is a massive kyber crystal, like the ones used in lightsabers, or in super laser batteries in certain Imperial moon-sized battle stations. The Spectres differ with Saw on the way that the mission should go, and Saw abandons the cargo ship after setting the crystal to overload. The U-wing later appears in the show being flown by the Lothal Resistance Group, led by Ryder Azadi, though this model is a civilian variant, without weaponry or a functioning hyperdrive, at least until Hera installs one stolen from a TIE Defender. The ship appears in the Battlefront 2 video game as a transport that ferries captured Imperial pilot Iden Versio to the cruiser Invincible Faith, which actually turns out to be a ruse so that Iden can delete critical Imperial intelligence from the Rebels' systems. The ships were also seen throughout the Star Wars Squadrons video game, in which the player can take control of the ship and fly as the support role in the Rebel Alliance squadron. Of course, the most famous appearance of the U-wing was in the standalone Star Wars movie Rogue One, which sees Rebel Jyn Erso trying to hunt down the plans to the secret project that her father Galen Erso is working on. The U-wing was an instrumental part of the Bravo 1 squadron, which was used to extract Jyn from the Imperial labor camp on the planet Wobani, seen in the beginning of the film. After a harrowing escape from an Imperial patrol following the extraction, Jyn was delivered to Base 1 on Yavin 4, where she met with Mon Mothma and members of the Rebel Alliance leadership. After a short briefing on their situation, Captain Cassian Andor took Jyn and the Imperial security droid K2SO aboard the U-wing LMTR-20 and traveled to the Jedha moon, where they picked up more adventurers and met with Saw Gerrera. The Empire decided to test the new Death Star on the city of Jedha, and the resulting shockwave destroyed Saw's hideout, though not before Jyn and the crew narrowly avoided destruction aboard the U-wing. The group then traveled to Edu to try and locate Jin's father, who had more information about the Imperial superweapon. This journey would spell doom for the U-wing, however, as the LMTR-20 collided with hidden rocks on the planet's surface and crash-landed, where it was eventually abandoned by the crew and left behind as the rebels fled the Imperial planet. One U-wing was later seen in the rebel attack on Scarif base, as part of the rebel fleet led by Admiral Raddus. After leading by example and defying the will of the Rebel Council, Jyn and a small band of rebels infiltrated the Imperial base on Scarif, where the Death Star plans were being held, and proceeded to engage in an all-out battle on the sandy plains in a desperate attempt to buy Jyn time to find the plans. Admiral Raddus sent many X-wing starfighters to assist as air support, as well as a U-wing before the shield gate closed off the rest of the ships from the desperate rebels. While only one U-wing managed to get through, this ship brazenly provided air cover for the rebel troops on the beaches, and delivered their own troops to aid in the assault. While this much-needed support was very welcome, the U-wing would not live to see the outcome of the battle, as it was shot down by enemy fighters, and its crew were killed in the explosion and crash. This was not the last we would see of the U-wing though, as we are told that a number of U-wings were present during the Battle of Jakku with the New Republic, prior to The Force Awakens, and several of the transport ships were credited as appearing in the Galaxy Fleet at the end of the Rise of Skywalker movie, when citizens from all across the galaxy banded together to take the fight to the Final Order and the Sith forces. The U-wing troop transport was a very effective method of transporting personnel to landing zones while providing excellent covering fire and shelter for disembarking troops, as well as functioning as a light gunship in emergency situations. While it may not have been as fast or well armed as other ships of its classification, it served the Rebel Alliance well and was a welcome sight to exhausted infantry units who were in desperate need of extraction and rescue. And that about wraps this one up, but stick around to the end for some secret trivia. Did you like what you saw? Be sure to check out my other videos, hit those like and subscribe buttons, and the bell to be notified every time I publish a new video. Super special shout out to my Gold Captain level Patreon supporters Miss 2003, Nick Sutphin, and Matthew Scott. Your support is super appreciated and you keep the show going. Thank you so much. Be sure to chat with me in the comments because I want to hear from you guys, and you can check the show out on social media for more news and channel updates. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.